Demond Wilson, known around the world as Lamont Sanford from the hit television series Sanford and Son, lived a life that went far beyond the comedy that made him famous. Born Grady Demond Wilson on October 13, 1946, in Valdosta, Georgia, he moved with his family to New York City while still young, and that busy city helped shape his dreams. Even as a small child, Wilson showed talent and confidence on stage, appearing in performances and studying dance, including tap and ballet, which helped him gain discipline and control at an early age. By the time he was 12 years old, he performed at Harlem's famous Apollo Theater, a place known for launching the careers of many black entertainers. Faith also played a strong role in his childhood. Raised in a religious home, he served as an altar boy, and once even thought about becoming a priest. During his teenage years, Wilson nearly died when his appendix ruptured, and during recovery, he promised God that he would serve a higher purpose if he survived. That promise stayed with him, even as his life later turned toward fame and television success. Before Hollywood discovered him, Wilson served his country in the United States Army during the Vietnam War between 1966 and 1968. He was wounded in combat, and like many soldiers, he returned home carrying emotional and physical scars. After the war, he turned to acting as a way to heal and rebuild his life, performing in stage productions and working hard to find roles in television and movies. His early screen appearances included small roles in shows like Mission Impossible and All in the Family, where producers noticed his calm but powerful presence. These smaller parts helped prepare him for the opportunity that would soon change his life forever. In 1971, Wilson was cast as Lamont Sanford in the NBC sitcom Sanford and Son, starring alongside comedian Redd Foxx, who played his stubborn but lovable father, Fred Sanford. The show followed their junk business and daily arguments, becoming one of the most loved comedies of the decade. Wilson's character acted as the sensible and patient son trying to keep his father out of trouble, and audiences quickly connected with him. The chemistry between Wilson and Fox helped make the show a huge success. However, success did not mean life was always easy. When Redd Foxx left the show during a contract dispute in 1974, Wilson suddenly had to carry more responsibility. And although Fox later returned, the situation caused emotional strain behind the scenes. Despite challenges, Wilson stayed professional and continued to perform well, showing his dedication to his work and co-stars. By the time the show ended in 1977, Wilson had become a household name, but he knew he wanted more than just sitcom fame. After Sanford and Son ended, Demond Wilson worked hard to avoid being trapped in one role, something many television actors struggle with. He appeared in new projects, including the sitcom Baby I'm Back, and later starred in The New Odd Couple, where he played Oscar Madison opposite Ron Glass as Felix Unger. While these shows did not reach the same level of popularity as his earlier success, Wilson continued acting in movies and television throughout the 1980s and 1990s, showing his commitment to storytelling. Films such as Full Moon High, Me and the Kid, and later appearances in smaller productions kept him active in the industry. At the same time, his life began moving in another important direction. Remembering the promise he made as a boy, Wilson became deeply involved in Christian ministry. In 1984, he became an ordained minister in the Church of God in Christ, shifting much of his attention away from Hollywood and toward faith-based work. He often appeared on Christian television programs and participated in stage productions and films that focused on redemption and spiritual messages. Wilson also discovered a new passion for writing, becoming an author and sharing his thoughts on faith and culture. His books discussed spiritual topics and warned readers about what he believed were dangers of certain new spiritual movements. In 2009, he released his memoir titled Second Banana, where he honestly described his time on Sanford and Son, including the good moments and the struggles behind the scenes. Readers appreciated his honesty and his respect for the show that made him famous. Away from cameras, Wilson enjoyed a quieter personal life. In 1974, he married model Cicely Johnston, and together they raised 6 children. Family life became his anchor, helping him stay grounded after experiencing the ups and downs of fame. Unlike many celebrities, Wilson did not constantly seek attention. Instead, he preferred focusing on his family, ministry work, and writing. Financially, he lived comfortably, with an estimated net worth of around $2.5 million, earned through decades of acting, books, and speaking engagements. Though not among Hollywood's richest stars, Wilson valued stability and purpose over wealth. Friends and colleagues often described him as kind, thoughtful, and reflective, someone who appreciated the opportunities he received, but never allowed fame to define his entire identity. Over the years, he also made guest appearances on television, including roles on series like Girlfriends, reminding fans that he still enjoyed performing, even while focusing on ministry. His later years showed a man who had learned from fame, chosen faith, and built a meaningful life beyond television success. As Demond Wilson grew older, he often spoke about how fame can sometimes bring pressure and confusion, especially for young performers who suddenly find themselves known by millions of people. He understood how quickly success could change someone's life, because he experienced it firsthand during the peak years of Sanford and Son. Fans recognized him everywhere, and expectations were high for whatever project he chose next. However, Wilson learned that real happiness did not come from fame alone. His move into ministry helped him find peace and allowed him to support others facing struggles. He traveled to speak at churches and events, encouraging people through stories of his own challenges, including the emotional impact of war and the stress that comes with public life. Even when acting opportunities slowed, he remained positive and grateful for his experiences. Wilson also supported faith-based film projects that aimed to inspire audiences rather than simply entertain them. Many younger actors respected him for his honesty about the entertainment industry, including his advice to prepare for life after fame. He often reminded people that television success can be temporary, but family and faith can provide lasting strength. His lifestyle became much simpler than what many might expect from a former television star. Instead of luxury parties or constant publicity, Wilson preferred spending time at home, reading, writing, and enjoying quiet moments with loved ones. Those close to him often shared stories of his humor and generosity, saying that he never forgot where he came from. His journey, from a young performer in New York, to a soldier in Vietnam, to a famous television actor, and finally to a minister and author, shows how many chapters a person's life can have. Each stage shaped who he became, teaching lessons about resilience and forgiveness. When asked about his legacy, Wilson often pointed not to television awards, but to the people he helped through ministry and personal guidance. For many fans, though, he will always be remembered as Lamont Sanford, the patient son dealing with his father's wild plans and sarcastic jokes, bringing laughter into homes across America. Those moments of humor remain timeless, replayed by new generations discovering classic television. Wilson's career reminds viewers that comedy can bring families together, and that actors sometimes give more to audiences than they ever realize. Demond Wilson passed away peacefully on January 30th, 2026, at his home in Palm Springs, California, due to complications related to cancer. He was 79 years old. News of his passing led many fans and fellow actors to share memories and express gratitude for the laughter he brought into their lives. Television networks replayed episodes of Sanford and Son, reminding viewers how important the show was in representing black families on American television during the 1970s. Wilson's portrayal of Lamont Sanford helped balance humor with real-life struggles, making the show relatable and heartfelt. Beyond television, his life story showed strength, faith, and personal growth. He successfully moved from entertainment into ministry, fulfilling the promise he made as a young boy fighting for his life in a hospital bed. His marriage of more than 5 decades and his role as a father to 6 children were achievements he valued deeply. While his estimated net worth showed financial success, his true legacy rests in the lives he touched through acting, writing, and ministry. Wilson proved that a person can evolve, change direction, and still remain true to their core values. Fans remember his gentle humor, co-stars remember his professionalism, and church communities remember his dedication to faith. His passing marked the end of a meaningful chapter in television history, yet his work continues to live on through reruns and streaming platforms where younger audiences continue discovering his performances. For many viewers, watching Lamont and Fred Sanford argue and reconcile week after week felt like watching their own families, which is why the show still feels warm and familiar decades later. Wilson's journey teaches that success is not only about fame, but also about growth, service, and finding peace in later years. Though the cameras have stopped rolling and the laughter has faded from studio audiences, the memories remain alive in homes around the world. Demond Wilson leaves behind not just a famous character, but a story of perseverance, faith, and transformation. His life reminds us that people can overcome hardship, reinvent themselves, and leave a positive mark on the world. And while audiences may say goodbye to the actor, the joy he created continues, ensuring that his legacy will be remembered for generations to come.